receiver which can uh, receive a note, which can detect incoming SMS or incoming call arrives. So writing a broadcast receiver pretty simple. Right click on the package as usual, and is there any receiver? No. Okay. It's listed under other, then broadcast receiver. Any name, exported, enabled. Okay. Enabled, disabled, of course, whether you want to have a broadcast receiver working or just keep it in idle mode, you may enable later point of time. This is just enable, disable, usual one. Exported, the broadcast receiver, remember, can broadcast messages. If you are writing your own broadcast receiver where you are going to broadcast some information, it is not restricted within your application. Any application which knows about the broadcast receiver source or channel name or the action name or intent filter name, you can receive the instance. Or you want to create your broadcast receiver local to only your application, you may have the exported set to false. Let it go on with the basic setup, whatever default it gives. See the broadcast receiver, same, only difference it is extending from broadcast receiver class. Previously it was activity, then service, now it is just a broadcast receiver. Okay, constructor, I don't see any usage to start with. Okay, this is the only lifecycle method left here on receive. It is going to be executed only when certain condition is met. I'll just clean it up. This is the only method which is going to be executed whenever the condition is met. The context, instance of the context and the intent being passed, which is quite useful going ahead. If you really want to know who is calling the broadcast receiver, we can get it. So writing a broadcast receiver is pretty simple. As I created the broadcast receiver file, it added an entry in the Android manifest. Notice that the broadcast receiver name exported enable. If you want, you can set it to false, true. If your application is going to make a call only within, uh, if your broadcast is going to broadcast a message only within your application, you can set the exported set to false. Or any application knows about your broadcast receiver can pick the message. But this is incomplete. A broadcast receiver at least require one intent filter defined. An intent filter makes sure the broadcast receiver listens only on particular action, because at this point the broadcast receiver may be listening every action which is associated. Naturally, it won't work. So you need to specify one intent filter action in order to make it that particular broadcast receiver listens to that particular process alone. Action name. There are plenty of suggestion out there. Say battery part, I was talking boot completed. Whenever your phone is restarted, the moment restarted, there are some instances, some services need to be restarted when the phone is also going to be restarted. So you can detect. So if I keep this particular action set, if I restart my phone, when the restart is completed, it will execute this method. So it will be very helpful. There are various action methods are there, which you can add it inside the intent filter. More than one also are allowed. So depending on your requirement, you can have the respective broadcast receiver working. But when you do certain thing, when you are trying to register some sort of activity, so broadcast receiver, you have to make sure your application possesses the required permission. If you refer the respective API document, you can easily find out, but it is slightly discrete. I don't see a standard documentation, but most of the time the document explicitly calls, but sometimes it doesn't tell. For example, when you want to detect the device reboot, you need to add a permission. Uh, there should be something related to reboot. This one. This guy permission. Okay, so this is also a permission is only granted to system apps. Means it is restricted now. Developers do not have access to use this permission. It is restricted only for a system. Mean the vendor. For example, Samsung modifies the source code and do it. So those people only can have an access. We do not have access. So I cannot use it, but you have to specify the permission likewise. Okay, another one actually our requirement we are going to listen the incoming call. I've already copied them. Phone state. Another one for SMS. Okay, I'm just going to remove the boot completed because I cannot reboot the device, I mean emulator in this case. But even though if I can also, I have a permission restriction. Okay, for these two actions, remember there is no explicit way of identifying the incoming call. But the phone identifies the incoming state by reading the phone state. Phone state may be ringing or called disconnected state or called talking state. So these three states possible for a phone whenever the active phone call is in progress. So let me put permission. Read phone state. This is for detecting incoming call. Another one which is some couple of permissions needed for SMS. Let's see something SMS related. Read SMS. There are a couple of different permissions are there for SMS. Read SMS mean SMS not only you are detecting incoming SMS, you are also opening and reading the SMS who has sent, which source it has come, what is the message, and what is the service center number. There are various information. But to make that, your application should also have a rights to receive SMS for a couple of receiving. After that, only reading is possible. So they have kept it into two different permission. Uh, I mean for detecting SMS. I'll just verify whether is there any other SMS related permissions are there. There are a lot of things are there. Read contact. MMS I'm not going to check anyway. Send SMS. Okay, we'll keep it. We'll auto reply SMS. That's one of a project requirement anyway. So broadcast receiver without intent filter it doesn't work. Remember, at least one intent filter needed so that that particular process it listens. In this example, we are going to listen phone state. I mean, we are going to check whether incoming call is in progress or incoming SMS has arrived. Two conditions we are going to check. So this is going to work only when certain condition met. So everything is done, and we have to make sure some toast or anything so that we are or probably put a log statement to see whether this part working or not. But this broadcast receiver is going to be checked for two different actions. Better I put a if statement before that string. The intent gives information about which action that particular broadcast receiver was called. So if action equals usually the action name which we have already defined in the manifest, probably you can directly lift it. If it's for phone, this block, else if I put else if because you may still extend with a different one, otherwise you can put else also. So whenever phone call comes this particular block, whenever SMS arrives this particular block. Okay. I'll also write a helper method a shot. Okay, so for SMS, for phone call, we are going to put a toast whenever required. But before proceeding, the phone state is quite generic. The phone state internally has couple of other substates. For example, ringing state. After the ringing, the phone call may be attended. That is one state. Or a call may be rejected before attending. That's one state. Or after attending, the call can be terminated. That's one state. So there are a couple of states possible. So we have to make sure which state it is. So let me create a state string. Okay, let me modify the bigger. Bundle, or I usually giving a name extras. We already have an intent instance, so this particular extra is going to contain certain additional information about your the context which is being called by broadcast receiver. Extras, sorry, get string. Okay, the key here for phone, all constants are defined under the telephony manager. Define extra state. Okay, what is the state? So state equals ringing. So it is going to put a toast only when the phone call is going to be in the ringing state. Another state is also possible, else state equals uh, sorry, it is a call state. Extra state ringing. Because I need three different state needed, extra state. What else? Call state is there. Okay, so this particular thing. And call state off hook, call attended. And the final one, idle, call disconnected. So three internal states are possible. I'm pretty confused about whether the call state or extra state. Okay, let's see, putting a toast by verifying them. Context incoming call. So whenever incoming call is going to come, we are going to put this toast. We'll later detect what is the incoming number and other stuff. Whenever SMS arrives, we'll put a toast SMS. So simple example. How to test it? Let's open the device monitor. Let me close and see whether it is working or not. Okay, now we can just highlight your emulator. Now you can put an incoming number, anything. I'm going to send SMS to the device. So when I click send, I should be getting a toast. You notice the incoming SMS, the toast appear. Whenever I try to send SMS, toast is actually being displayed. So this particular device is detecting any incoming SMS, or this particular application is detecting any incoming SMS is arrived, and we have to see whether the call can be detected. Okay. Uh, okay, it doesn't work. Let me. That was my suspicion thing because it should be extra state ringing. I hope. Should be fine. Now let me produce a phone call. Now if you see that toast appeared when I make a phone call, I can attend, disconnect, whatever I can do. Say
Just come back because they're not working alone. Will not take this. Just confirm that.
the broadcast receiver will work even your application is closed also because it is just registered with the daemon process. So I just close my application. Anytime call arrives, it is going to put a toast, or you can handle that in your application to do whatever necessary action. So it's a pretty simple way to detect them. But I'm going to extend this code a little bit. Let me remove this one. Then I'll come back to it. So this particular small snippet of code, what I'm trying to do is, whenever incoming call arrives, it will automatically send a SMS back as a response. For example, if you set your phone into silent, you can send automatic SMS response, or anybody SMS you automatically the reply could be sent. So to make that happen, we have to identify who's actually calling, the incoming number. So we have to identify what is the incoming number, then probably we can use for SMS reply purpose or what. Okay.
Sir, 1 minute.
Give me a second. Okay, guys, I just completed. So I'm trying to get the incoming number when phone call is arrived. Maybe like whenever the phone state is set to ringing. So let us get the incoming number. So from the extras, the bundle, I'm going to extract extra incoming number. So let us put the incoming number also in the toast screen. So whenever incoming phone call comes, it will also display. We can also access the who is calling incoming number. So other states like which I removed it because the key was wrong. Extra state off hook call attended state. Off hook mean the phone call is attended, and the other state may be disconnected state. Right. But if you require override, I mean write them like for further processing. But for me, the incoming number more than enough to automatically send a reply back. The call is still in progress. The incoming SMS detection is slightly a different one. If I explain, you'll lose the focus also. But don't pay attention too much like how things are working because I would end up explaining like how data connection and MM is being handled in wireless. But I'll try to give you a small description how SMS works in a 2G or 3G network. So let's see how we can detect that as well. I'm just going to create because the SMS is a slightly different formatted data, which is called PDU, Portable Description Units. It's a standard, byte formatted one. So from the bundle, sorry, extras, PDUs, the typecast. Remember an SMS, a long SMS, standard SMS characters is 160 or 140 characters, I remember. For standard SMS, 160 characters, I hope. Anything go beyond, your network provider charges 2 or 3 SMS because they break into and automatically charge. So any SMS you will always get an array formatted because chances are there it may be one iteration or more than one iteration possible. That's the reason it's a object type array, and it's a different object type which is called portable description unit, a kind of byte formatted data which you need to again group it and identify the SMS message and the sender information. Let me build a object called SMS message. Next, our SMS message is from telephony manager, and I was also talking about SMS message could be a array formatted. I need to extract it. So just I create an array with the same length of the PDUs. The portable description units should be converted into a readable SMS and the number format. So let us put a for loop. And 0. This loop will run if you have more SMS character greater than 160. Otherwise, this loop will run only once. So depending on PDU length, we make the PDUs. Yes, plural. Okay, so let us get the SMS message. PDUs. Okay, it's not picking up. SMS. Okay, let me build the SMS message through some slightly different way with the help of SMS manager. Okay, create from SMS message. Okay, create from PDU. There is a method exists. So anyway, so it is a byte formatted one. So the suggestion is giving me PDUs. Again, a deprecated one. One more argument is there, but the problem is these guys would have added the compatibility only for prior versions. I mean, new version, older version will be still taking it. I tested because purposefully I opened a lower end emulator. Lower end emulator only works with this format, whereas the higher one works with a different format. You may encounter when version specific support, you may end up giving sometimes. Certain feature will be there for specific version, certain feature may not be there for a specific version. To identify that, or probably to add a condition, build. Build actually contains various information about your phone software. So build version, sorry, SDK level, whether less than or maybe greater than build version codes, maybe yum. Okay. When marshmallow and above versions are there detected, you can add one condition. So let me make a SMS message in this way. So let it be here. So the additional parameter, mm, it is actually require a format, 3GBP format. This is a standard format for LTE and 3G. I mean specification onward standards. So get the what is that? There is a format to retrieve this message or build to format. What else we have? PDUs. Sorry, there is a extra information. We have a bundle. Okay, get string format. So what kind of format it is coming? So the same format I can send it inside. Let's typecast it. Am I missing anything? It's showing some error. Create from PDUs. Okay, so let's come back whenever when error throws, we'll identify them. If at all any other lower version, keep it in this way. Now you have a incoming number. Get originating address, which is nothing but your incoming number. If you want to detect incoming message, get message body. So through this way you can detect incoming SMS and incoming SMS who's actually calling. So maybe I'll make it as a global so that I can put a toast. Sorry. So incoming number. So we'll put a toast. Context meter. That's what we have written. The same. Let me verify the document. Typecasting is not working. Just a typecasting issue, that's it. I did. Okay, just a parenthesis is missing, and this will require a format additional, and this one require. So now we have rebuilt the SMS. Anytime incoming SMS arrive, this particular number will be retrieved from it. So let me run it. Okay, so whenever a new SMS comes, we should get a toast. So let me send a SMS. So we are checking the incoming SMS has arrived from a specific number. So I can also detect incoming number. So we can also build an automatic reply system for this. We already have a permission to reply SMS or send a message. So you can write one more utility method. Sending the auto reply. See SMS manager. Get default. So it should be SMS. Default instance of your SMS manager, nothing but your based on your SIM card service provider. Send text message. You can directly send a text message. Service center address that will be automatically picked by your network provider. So any message you can send. Pending intent at this point null. What is pending intent is also you will come to know when you create a notification. The project contains one of a requirement to put a pending intent. Delivery intent, that also not needed. But one thing I'll tell, pending intent maybe is a view which is ready to be launched only after user intervention. For example, you would have seen by after seeing the notification. For example, in this case, my application everything is closed, but I do have a notification message. So pending intent nothing but once I click, an activity will be launched. In this case, this activity is launched. So, if anything pending to be displayed, that kind of an activity or intents are called pending intent. But when you write a notification, you'll come to know some of a project have a notification. But anyway, I'll be explaining the notification in the everyday 1 hour session which I'm going to take. So that time I'll be explaining that anyway. But your project, one of a requirement being pending intent, which is already there. Okay, this particular line, SMS manager getting a default instance means getting a SMS instance of your application, which includes your device specific, mean permission to send SMS. Now you can send text SMS stating that in this case, sorry, I'm busy, something I'm going to send hard coded one. But you can create a systemized message to reply a particular user. So, so this particular person will automatically receive an SMS response. To test this, whether the reply is being sent, whether the reply is received to the destination, the easy way would be creating one more emulator instance. Sorry. You can have your one more emulator open. Let me see if I can create a lower end emulator which I can start faster. I'm just going to create a very lower end emulator so that it will start fast. Okay, I'm going to open one. So this will make a call to the another emulator, mean a phone call being made between two emulators, which is exact similar condition. You can make a phone call between two different phones. So we are going to mimic that same situation. So whenever it is going to make a phone call or SMS, it will automatically receive an SMS from the other emulator. So that's the one I'm trying to achieve. Let's see how long it takes to load. We'll make sure the code is updated. Yes, we're running. The code is updated. Let's wait for this emulator load. This emulator is not a Intel based one, ARM processor, so it's slightly load. I mean, it will load slightly later. But let it finish. Testing our time. So any other way, we can create one more. Intel is there. Just loading. Just created one more. We just created a one more emulator for testing. So when I send a message from this emulator to this one, it should automatically receive a response. The phone number of these emulators, for example, identity is a port number which is shown on the top, in this case 5554 and 5556. So I'm going to send a message 5554. Please send a message to this one. I think we received it, but the response yet to arrive. Here it is. So we got a SMS response automatically. Same if I try to call this number, I got the SMS reply instantly. So if you really want to build a kind of automatic response system, you can make use of broadcast receivers to achieve your requirement. So I hope it is done. So broadcast receiver listens to a particular intent filter. In this case, we are listening phone state and we are listening incoming SMS. So whenever incoming SMS arrive, it will pick the incoming SMS number and automatically send an SMS as a reply. In this case, a hard-coded text, but one of our requirement, the project which has been given, build an entire SMS replier application with having various customized messages composition. So using this code snippet, you can build it. So this is a simple example of broadcast receiver system based one. You can also create a customized broadcast receiver which you can broadcast message between your applications. So tomorrow we will see a simple example on how to create or how to call, okay, how to create a customized adapter. I mean tomorrow mean next working day. So how to build a custom adapter. So that I will explain. Hardly take 1 hour session. Then you can proceed your project development. Going ahead, I'll be explaining how to make a notification. Like that small code snippets I'll be explaining every day. But you'll be using them already in your project. But I may be explaining in a slightly in a different way. So whatever way suitable for you, you can use it, and you can deliver your application. Okay. So this is the simple example of broadcast receiver. I'll upload the source code. When you have a time, you can test.